Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota Tim. Leaving the gym, feeling good, looking good. Now I'm going to be looking better in about 25 minutes. I'm going to get a haircut, my favorite place. I got to get down there. They gave me an appointment that's going to be a little tough to meet, but I'm not going to speed or anything. I'll keep it under 80. But I wanted to talk to you guys this morning about letting go. I've been listening to a lot of things that teach me, and I want to share with you. I read my Bible, and I listen to other things, and different preachers, and different motivational speakers, and all of these things to improve. I've always been into self-improvement. And I know a lot of people struggle with holding on to negative thoughts, and not mainly, but a lot of times, people hold on to unforgiveness. And there's a saying that a wounded soul bleeds on others. So if you're carrying around a lot of bitterness or unforgiveness in your heart, like, you know, they gossiped about me at the job, they fired me, they did me wrong, she cheated on me, she left me, they wrote something about me, they said some things about me. You got to learn to forgive. You got to learn to let that go. The Bible teaches to love thy neighbor as thyself. The Bible also teaches in the Lord's Prayer that to forgive me my sins and for my trespasses and for those that trespass against me. So it's a very tough thing to do. You say, well, Tim, I'm not going to forgive them. Look what they did. Look what they said. Well, you know, the Bible also talks about how God will promote you right in the middle of something like that, right in front of them. So don't worry about them. Don't worry about that rude cashier, that person that cut you off in traffic. Just learn to let it go, like water off a duck's back. Just let it roll off, and do it continually. Do it right away. Don't say, I'll do that in a few hours after I steam it off, or tell this person, or pick a fight, or, you know, try to make a video or say something to convince people everything about, you know, why you're doing what you're doing. No. Forgive and move on. Just let it go. Because there's so many stories in the Bible and in real life too, where people that they just have a forgiving heart. They don't grudge anybody. They understand that you can't change people. You can pray for them, you can forgive them, but only God can change a person's heart. So when God sees that you have a forgiving heart and you're not doing the same as them, jumping down into the mud and to the mire, as the Bible talks about, then you're above that. You're lifted above that. And even in the midst of their eyes, they will see you being promoted and succeeding in spite of what people do, say, gossip about you. So always try to do the right thing. You know, the old saying, what would Jesus do? Jesus would turn the other cheek. Jesus just says, you know, forgive them for they know not what they do. It's very difficult. I understand. Somebody flips you off in traffic, cuts you off in traffic, immediately you want to guns a-blazing, you know, just want to fingers a-blazing and everything else. You just want to get in there and, you know, when somebody says something about you and calls something on you or do something about you, you know, gossip to the boss, tell the others in the office, around the neighborhood, in the trailer park, you know, just let it go. Just let it go. Because people will see your fruit. They will see a forgiving heart. And that, my friend, there's another scripture in the Bible about something about forgiving them will also be like burning coal. What is that? Something by forgiving them, it's like it burns them up. They get very, it's not a payback thing per se. It's just you can't control. People were mistreated when they were young. They didn't have their mommy and daddy tell them they were good. They were picked on. They were bullied on. they had some issue and they just have a life that isn't the life that you need. And if you were to drop down to their level and act as if they're you're doing the same thing. The same thing that you don't like, that you want to try and debate or defend, then you're doing the same thing. And, another thing too is when you gossip, and I've been guilty, everything I'm saying, I've been guilty, but I've learned when you gossip to other people, you're saying bad about yourself. I was in a relationship, and I used to tell people about how they did me wrong and what they were doing wrong, and I was an angel and it was all them. Well, I never really said it like that. I really never did. I always say it takes two to tango. I always say I got plenty of my own faults, so I retract that. But what I say is, this is what they do. I point out their faults, and people are listening to that, and they're your friends, but in their mind, they're like, well, why are you saying this? Or why are you still there? Why don't you leave there? Why are you staying in an abusive relationship? Why are you staying in a low-paying job? Why are you doing what you're doing that you're complaining about? Why aren't you making a difference? Why aren't you changing? And finally, someone said to me one time, either crap or get off the pot. Either live with it or stop telling me about it. I don't want to hear it. Because that's on you. If you have issue with something, deal with it. But there's no reason to share it with other people. And they're like, well then, do something about it or stay with it. But don't keep telling me about it when I know that you're going to go right back to being with that person, or you're going to go right back to that job, or you're going to go right back into that story about how they did you wrong, or you're going to go, repeating your story. And they love you and they care about you, but they really don't want to hear about it. When I got the hard truth from somebody one time, I had an epiphany. I thought, you know what? They're right. And I thought about other people that used to dump on me. I had a friend of mine, and he was, it was like an echo chamber. If it wasn't about his relationship, it was about politics, or it was about something that he just wanted to complain about, and just gossip about. And I would have to sit there and listen to it because I cared for him. He was my friend. But in the same time, I'm like, this story again? You got to get some new material. And it's so true. And I think about, man, all the stories that I've said, all the times that I've dumped on people about this person or this thing or this situation. And people are like, well, some, they don't tell you that, but in their mind, they're probably thinking, I'm glad I don't have your problems. So, the lesson today that I would like to implore you to do is a couple of things. One is to practice forgiveness. Just, no matter how difficult it is, just realize that these people, these things that happen, these people you don't even know, these people in stores that are rude, or in traffic, or wherever you're encountering things that you are angered by and you need to forgive, just write that in there. Do the Christian thing and say, hey, maybe you're having a bad day. Maybe you weren't, told they loved you when you were a kid. Maybe you didn't get involved in things in school. Maybe you were bullied. Maybe there's deeper psychological and mental issues you have. And pray for that person. Pray that, because they are, there's got something flying around in here. Yeah. They are a creation of God, just like you were. So we can't judge people because we will be judged. We can't point out the speck of sawdust in someone's eye and we've got a 2x4 sticking in our own eye. And folks, I've got sequoias in my eye. I've got 2x4s. You've got 2x4s. Life is a learning process. None of us are perfect. We're all sinful. We're all dirty, rotten rags, as the Bible teaches. None of us are worthy of anything if it wasn't for the forgiveness of our sins through the shedding blood of Christ. So why live of the world? Why let the world suck you in? Why not learn self-improvement techniques through what I'm telling you, through what others teach, through what the Bible teaches, through what other preachers teach? Start listening to those things. Start bringing in the positivity. Get rid of the negativity. Get rid of listening to your friends and what you read online or what you see on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and all these things that people are just watching on TV, the media and those housewife shows and all these filthy, nasty, absolute garbage can, worthless. Is that descriptive enough for you? You know, hanging around certain people that talk with a potty mouth, you know, that can't articulate English without F-bombs and S-bombs and all kinds of just filthy, gossipy, nasty, mean-spirited. Get away from it. Don't listen to it. You have to purge that from your life, folks, because if you wallow in a pig pen with a pig, you're going to get it on you. There's no way you can prevent it. The only way you can stay clean is to eschew it from your life, to just turn the other cheek, forgive them, let it roll off of you. Say, I don't want anything to do with that. I forgive you. You know, it might be tough for me to forgive you, but I'd turn you over to God. Let Him deal with you. And when God sees you doing that, as He's teaching us to do exactly what I'm telling you, this is from God. This is what He teaches you to do. If you do this, God will promote you, as I said earlier, right in front of them, in spite of what they say. You will not be hindered. You don't have to be worried that you're not going to succeed in your endeavor. You're not going to have to be ashamed to talk about what you talk about. You're not going to have any fear, because you're going to see your life continuing, in fact, exponentially growing. I've learned this in my own experience, and I've learned it a lot in the last year. And I want to share that with any of you, whether you're a YouTuber or you're just an employee at a job, you're in a relationship, your daily things that you do every day among people, how to conduct yourself. Be a shining light of the world. Let there be more light to expose the darkness. Do you know that if you light yourself on fire, the whole world will come watch you burn? That's an old saying I learned a long time ago about being enthusiastic. People are attracted to that. People love that. People don't want to hear negativity. They really don't. Some like to wallow in it with you, that are, you know, of the same mindset, like echo chambers. But nobody else that really matters hears them. They're just a clanging gong, just noise in the background that nobody's listening to. Listen to the good things in life, folks. Eat the good foods in life. Feed your body and your mind with the healthy things of life. You get what you put in, as they say. You are what you eat. You think and produce what you think about. As the Bible teaches, a man is how he thinketh. As you thinketh, so are you. You know, you don't put tomato seed in the ground and grow corn. You know, it's a simple thing. So people lose their way. They get distracted. You know, there's so many different, well, everybody else is doing it. Or I want to be on that TikTok and Facebook. And I know it's TikTok. But, you know, just all that other crap. I'll just check. I'll just look and see what this person's saying. Let me just peek over there. Let me sneak into that, that sin. Let me open that sinful door, that nastiness. Let me hear for a second. And then, it gets on you. Their stink and their filthiness. It just gets on you. And then you go around and you got a little on you, and like after a while, you don't smell it anymore. You just become stinky. And then you like open the door again a little wider, and you a little bit more on you, and a little bit more on you. Next thing you know, you're like one of them. But if you do the opposite and start teaching yourself and catching yourself, no, that's not right. Just like your mom and dad taught you. You don't walk across the street without looking. Listen to what the instruction book of life teaches. All you have to do is remember one thing, folks. One simple thing. We've said it a million times. I'm never going to stop saying it. You treat others as you want to be treated. How do you want to be treated? How would you like every day when you went out and you walked into a store, when you got in your car and you put your turn signal on, you needed to get out in traffic, how would you like to be treated? Wouldn't you like privileges? Wouldn't you like someone to extend some courtesy to you? Wouldn't you like someone to always smile and thank you for coming in and spending your money at their business? Wouldn't you like someone to ask you how your day's going and genuinely be interested and listen to you? Wouldn't you like someone to talk to you and ask you where you're from, what you would change in your life, what your life's been about? Wouldn't you love it when someone asks you about your children, your grandchildren? Don't you love it when people are interested in you? People love to talk about themselves. How did you get involved in this business? How did you get started? Oh, they're lucky to have you. People telling you, you're a great employee. I'm going to write a letter. How would you like to get a letter? And your boss call you in and say, we got this letter that you extended this extreme over and above customer service to someone. And they went through the trouble of writing a letter to tell us what a great decision we made in hiring you. We're going to promote you now. These are the things that will happen in your life. You will excel. You will experience nothing but greatness in everything that you do. Everything you touch turns to gold because you are gold. You're goodness. You're not putting muddy and dirty filthiness on things. You're not stinking up the world. You're not spreading negativity. That's going to be dealt with. That's going to be dealt with harshly. And they might get away with it for a time. They think that they're doing something. But in the spite of what they're doing, they see that it's not doing anything. And it's like payback, karma, from God, from karma, whatever you want to believe in, but it isn't going to come from acting rude, mean, and all that. You got to forgive, folks. You got to just be a good person. You can't change other people. You can't change, but they can be changed. They'll change on their own too if something happens to them drastic and traumatic in their life. Let something happen to their health. Let something happen to their pocketbook. Let something happen to one of their children, a family member, their spouse. Let something traumatic happen. They'll be changing. They'll be crying. They'll be begging for help. Don't wait till that. Don't be like them. Be thanking in advance for what you already have. Be thanking for the things that you've already received. Don't worry about what you're going to get. Your life is already planned out. You're already going to get what you're going to get. And you're going to get even more if you keep planting good seed and doing the right thing. So folks, let it be a lesson today to go ahead and start now. Not tomorrow, not after you get over the anger of this person or what that person did. Just go ahead and forgive, because if you keep that going around, like I said earlier, a wounded spirit bleeds on others. Don't gossip. Don't tell people what's going on. Just turn it over to God. Forgive in your mind. Move on. Stay positive. Keep doing the right thing. And I'll guarantee you, you will never see crushing it like you will. You'll take it to another level that you've never seen. And we need to hear this today, folks. There's too much other bombarding everybody. We know it. Let's use it. Let's crush it.